Welcome back to the Fed Talks. My name is Nathan Hall, and today we've got SBF GB&I on today. We've got Matt Gouldsmith. How are you doing, Matt? Are you okay? Do you want to do a bit of an intro? Because it's a debut for yourself on the Fed Talks, isn't it?
It is a debut. Yes, happy to do an intro. Some of you might recognise me from many events or stuff. But anyway, so I work for Suntory Beverage and Food. A lot of you will know that as Lucozade and Ribena. I head up our sales team, which manages our wholesale business and our 50,000 independent retail convenience stores out there. And that's our sales team who call on the stores all the way up to the account managers at head office. And that's what I do, and it's a great job, and I really enjoy this sector.
Good stuff. It's good to have you on, Matt. So what we're talking about is HFSS, this new legislation. We're seeing all of the press, retailers are talking about it, but it's a bit of a grey area. So it's just a bit of an update from Suntory on it. So give us a bit of a background, first of all. What's the basics on the legislation?
So HFSS refers to food and drink that is deemed high in fat, salt or sugar under a government definition. And there's a system in place to define which products are HFSS or not. And suppliers will be able to tell you whether which products fall into those brackets. So in the area that we work in, soft drinks, for example, it's any drink that contains more than 4.5 grams of sugar per 100 ml. So this legislation goes live on the 1st of October, so really close. And obviously this depends on any changes that Liz Truss's new government might enforce. But currently it goes live from the 1st of October this year.
Right.
And in effect, any pre-packed food and drink item which contains high fat, salt and sugar, according to the government legislation, will be subject to location restrictions in store. And then later on in terms of the legislation, there's promotional restrictions coming as well. So putting that into English, if this means you can't locate any product with high fat, salt and sugar at aisle ends or impulse purchase areas, like an entrance or by the till. And the government's aim for this is to tackle high rates of obesity in England by encouraging more healthy purchases. And these changes will have a huge effect on the retail landscape. And we're on hand to help you through it and try and give you as much help as possible.
Good stuff, perfect. Matt, you've took such a grey area there and made it really simple, so that makes sense. And then for the retailers watching this video and the Fed members, those that are affected, what do they need to be thinking about? How do they prepare?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is to understand whether your store is in scope to apply these restrictions or not. And actually, many of your members are probably going to be okay. All large stores and supermarkets, they're going to be impacted. You probably see that now, actually, if you walk into a big Tesco, you'll see the way that they arrange their front of store now. With convenience stores, it's a little bit more complex, and it comes down to a few factors. It's the number of employees and the size of the store. So if you're a small independent store and you have less than 50 employees, you're likely to be out of scope for both the location restrictions and any promotional restrictions that are coming up. But you do need to check on the government website. If you're part of a symbol group, you need to ask the symbol group head office to clarify whether you're affected or not. Now, if your store is in scope, you'll need to make some significant layout changes in the store, as I just touched on. And you need to ensure that none of your products that are HFSS rated are sold in those banned locations. And as I said, those locations are impulse locations like by the till, front of store, gondola ends, aisle ends, that sort of thing. So suppliers can tell you which products are affected, and you need to go and understand that. But you're also going to have to train your staff, because obviously they need to know where they can go and put product out on the shelf. And you're also probably going to have to think about what categories you sell, so that you might want to sell more non-HFSS products and have more ranges of those products, so you don't lose out on those impulse purchases and those purchases by the till and on the gondola ends. So I hope that answers the question.
It does, Matt. Thank you. And then for you guys, the Suntory portfolio, how does that affect you, the legislation?
Well, I'm really proud to say that actually none of our soft drinks are affected. So that's every single bottle, every single can of Lucozade, Ribena, or Orangina that you sell is not subject to any HFS restrictions or any future promotional restrictions that are coming down the line as well. We've worked really hard over the years in our innovation and reformulation to make sure our products are healthier and to give consumers that choice of great tasting drinks which enable positive lifestyles. So please continue to sell our products as you do at the moment in the same place in those high footfall impulse areas. So yeah, so we're okay actually.
Yeah, cracking news for Suntory. And then just finally, for the retailers watching again, what would your one final piece of advice be for everyone watching?
My final advice is don't delay. I mean, we are 7th of September today, or whatever date this goes out at. It's less than 4 weeks. The restrictions are coming really quickly, so it's really essential that you read up about what's coming. You need to speak to your symbol group head office. You need to speak to suppliers like us if you're unclear about which products are affected or not. There's a government website where you can understand how your store will be impacted. You just need to gen up on it, and you need to train your staff about any of the impacts that you learn in that research.
Yeah, got it.
And well, there's one more thing as well. You need to look at good and efficient ranging. So you need to spend some time looking at ranges, as I said earlier, about and maybe selling more non-HFSS products in your ranges, which will be unaffected by this. Because that's the whole point, and that hopefully will help your categories continue to be as strong as they are in this sector. And of course, we're not affected, and we're here to help you as well.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, Matt, really appreciate it. That's a cracking day for myself. A really, really good update. Lots of information there for retailers to take on board. Make sure you're prepared. And yeah, cheers for your time, Matt. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.